There you go. Hit that like button, as Hoybier does. How are we all this evening? And welcome to the fourth best Spurs YouTube channel on YouTube. Yes, I know we're not number one, but the Harris Army's number one, Flat Cap Army's number two, Sports Talk Show's number three, Mia's number five, but don't tell Mia. We're at number four. But welcome to the best show in town. And today we are doing Newsbeat, which we normally do. Myself and a man that's gone missing. He's like the Invisible Man. You see him here, you see him there, you see him everywhere. It's Mr. Philip Brady, the Godfather. Philip, how are you? Nice to have you back by my side again. I have missed you.
Thank you, Dermot. I'm just saying, I hope you don't mind hospital food, because after that comment about me, I say you might need it. Anyway, yeah, good. Looking forward to Saturday, and big double day on Saturday for us Irish. Spurs to beat Southampton, and Ireland to beat England in the rugby.
There is. There certainly is, yeah. It's the day that, but at least the weekend, that Ireland sort of show the world we are the best country in the world. We're going to win the rugby.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, of course, is St. Patrick's Day. To celebrate the first man ever to get the boat from England to Ireland to go on a piss up, basically. He was that's not why you really wasn't he, Philip? He was the man that set the trend for years to come.
Yeah, he was actually, yeah. But he ended up, I think he ended up getting he's buried up in Downpatrick in the north.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, but he's supposed to have been all over the place. I mean, everywhere you go, St. Patrick was here. I'd love to know how people know that. You know, was there YouTube in the 4th century? You know, I think we have to take it a lot with a pinch of salt now, really, to be honest with you. You know, it's.
He had a YouTube channel called St. Patrick Till I Die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He got rid of the snakes, though. He got rid of the snakes. They've come back in the guise of Arsenal fans now.
Yeah. But we are doing the St. Patrick's Day show tomorrow night, myself and Philip, and I think Mia's coming on. A little bit about football, and we're going to talk about, like, did we land on the moon? Do you know? Who was St. Patrick? For me, St. Patrick was a man that came over and kind of liked this country and sort of made it his own. And other bits of fun. We're having a bit of a laugh tomorrow. It is a national holiday tomorrow, so we're going to show you the best of Ireland tomorrow on this channel. It's like we're working for the Irish government, or Philippines.
It'll be very unserious. It'll be the most light-hearted thing you'll ever see, because Paddy's Day here is legendary.
It is.
This fellas go to home on Patrick's night, wake up 4 nights later and don't know where they are. You know, it's just.
I remember years ago, this is true, before we get into football, I was coming back from England on St. Patrick's Day in the boat between Holyhead and from Holyhead to Dublin. And we literally had the Pope the fella dressed up as the Pope, right? 3 pints of Guinness for everyone. Oh, Lord Jesus. I was so tanked off coming off that boat. Oh, Lord Jesus. I didn't know who it was, where it was, or what it was. Honestly, he just kept coming on. Have another pint of Guinness. May you bless your son and all that. I'm thinking 3 Guinness. I'm taking this. Right, but anyway, Philip, let's. Oh yeah. Cheers. Right, let's welcome some people in the chat. We have. I'm leaving that name to you, Philip, because I'll murder it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll probably be able to pronounce it better today than tomorrow. So anyway, I'll go Thfc Kakatouris.
Theo's Ellie's husband saying you're doing this is, I think, related, but anyway, Theo, big up Theo, who I've met. We've all met Theo. What a lovely man.
Theo.
Yes. Theo's Ellie's husband saying you're doing a grand job, all of you, on THFC Till I Die crew. Thank you very much. So you're very, very, very kind. United Spurs of America, big up THFC Till I Die. Big up there, Jacob and Michael. And again, congratulations on reaching 1,000 subscribers.
It's a big day in America tomorrow too. The Americans celebrate Paddy's Day more than we do. Yeah. You know, and can I just give a shout out to there's a band, a kids marching band that I had some dealings with some years ago, are leading the parade in New York. So
Wow.
shout out to the Kingscourt marching band. Fair dues to them. They got a great honour by leading the parade tomorrow down Fifth Avenue. So great honour for County Cavan.
Yeah, it is. And then so big up to them. Big up Carl Simpson. We've got Wayne Bonner. Afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Pumped for tomorrow and the Spurs game on Saturday. Well, if you can get pumped for St. Patrick's Day, forget about the game on Saturday. Just concentrate on tomorrow. Tomorrow's the most important day. We have, we've got David Clark. Hi from Leicester. Just walked in from taking the dog out for his walk. Big up, David. Big up, sir. Terry White, big up. He says, big up, gents. Big up, Terry White. Mia saying, yeah, watch yourself, Dermot. I'm always watching myself, Mia. You don't scare me, Mia. You don't scare me. Dermot's going to be in trouble. It's like being back at school. Oh, never mind. We've got David Clark here. Not looking forward to the ladies' London derby, having already allowed the bottom team Leicester to have 10 shots. Arsenal will get 30. Great goal by England last night for Spurs ladies to beat Leicester ladies. Yeah, fair play to them. Didn't know. Who else? We've got Kirsty here. Big up, Kirsty. Hope you're doing well. It's been a long time since I've seen you in any chat. So welcome. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you and the kids are doing fine. And it's great to see you in. And, please don't be a stranger. Please pop in anytime. We're always glad to see you. And also, she does wonderful work for the ladies, for women in football as well. I know Ellie's involved in it as well, and she does fantastic work for My Game too. So everyone, please get behind it. Do get behind it. It is well worth getting behind. It's to promote the good of women in football, in coaching or playing or whatever, and there should be equal opportunities for everyone. And there also should be respect for women when they go to football matches as well, and the fans as well. And I know Ellie's told me some stories to what she's gone through, and it's not right. There's some women that are more knowledgeable about football than us men are. So please, everyone, get behind My Game too. And Kirsty, you're doing a wonderful job. You and Ellie and all the gang there that are doing it. So big up. From everyone here, we're behind you 100%. Carl saying hello to Kurs. Hope you are well. We've got Eugene. Big up, Eugene. He said, hi, everyone. Big up. Levy out. Big up, Eugene. Hope you're doing well. Dermot, you should be very afraid. Oh, poor old me. May's going to jump on in a minute and start shouting at me. Don't shout at me. Don't shout at me, Mia. Just treat me nice. I'm St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Let me enjoy it first. Hey, Dermot. Yeah, it took a well-needed break, but back now. Big up, Curse. It's great to have you back. And she says, thanks for the shout out, Dermot. Her game too helps extradite sexist abuse and misnoggedy towards females for all ages in football. And it should. It's something that we get behind in here as well, isn't it, Philip? We everyone should be treated equally. Doesn't matter, absolutely. Man, woman, child, alien from Mars, or if you're from, I don't know, Superman from Krypton, you all have to be treated the same.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. Unfortunately, it's not, as we know, and but hopefully, as time goes on, things will get better, and hopefully they do, because nobody wants some of the bullshit and the crap that people have to take from other, people. We're all equal in this world. No one's better than others. So And
apparently Wayne's saying I'm on the naughty step. I'm always there. Hi Philip, how are you this evening, sir? Now we're getting ready. Now we went through the articles today, didn't we? And something caught our eye. It's about Pat Jennings. And the title of what he said, leaving Tottenham for Arsenal was the worst day in my life, but I have no regrets. Philip, do you want to give people a bit of a background before we go through the article about Pat Jennings and his move to Arsenal, how it came about, why it came about, and why he's still regarded as the best keeper for both clubs? And if it even goes to either clubs, he still gets a standing ovation from everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the nearest comparison you could have to this would be maybe something that happened 24 years later when Sol Campbell moved to Arsenal. But this is totally different. Pat Jennings went more or less it was the fault of the club that they were. Pat Jennings wanted to stay, I think, but now I have a feeling it was over that old bugbear with Tottenham money. And when they wouldn't meet, I think he was looking for a very reasonable salary increase. And when they wouldn't do that, Bill Nicholson decided to let him go. And it was probably the biggest mistake Bill Nicholson ever made in his career, to be honest with you. Was to, well, I'm sorry, not Bill Nicholson, it's what I'm talking about. The Richardsons and the Wales. Bill Nicholson was gone at this stage. The Richardsons and the Wales, whoever was the chairman at that time, I can never quite remember, decided to let him go. And Arsenal, I mean, they must have thought all the Christmas had come at once. They were able to snap up the ex-Tottenham goalkeeper on a free transfer. It was ridiculous. And he went on to win numerous trophies with Arsenal. And but unlike Sol Campbell, when he came back to Tottenham, he got a great reception because the guy was our goalkeeper for 13 years. And I mean, and the fact, what I like now is that he was able to come back to both. He's able to go back to both grounds now and get a standing ovation from both sets of fans. And there are very, very few players that can say they get that. Because you've heard even the other night there when we were at the AC Milan game, Olivier Giroud got the treatment every time he got the ball because he was ex-Arsenal.
You want to hear the songs they were singing about Sol Campbell as well.
Oh, you couldn't repeat them. Some of the stuff that was been sung about Sol Campbell, and that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Philip. Look, I understand. I'm pissed off for Sol Campbell. Don't like him for what he did. But some of the songs they were singing, and there were people that were singing it weren't even alive when he actually made the transfer.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what got me. Yeah. There was 15, 16-year-olds singing it, and I'm thinking, you weren't even around when he did that transfer.
Yeah.
So how?
He's never going to be forgiven. I mean, he says he wants to be forgiven and this and the other. And I mean, it was a really sore thing at the time, especially as he went on to be so successful at Arsenal. And the fact that he came back with an Arsenal team in 2004, whenever it was, and won the bloody title at our place. That started that. If it was dying down a bit at that stage, that soon revved it up again, And no, it's something that's the more moderate amongst us might say, listen, let bygones be bygones. But that's not. I don't think that's ever going to happen, really. I think he is public enemy number one still with a lot of Tottenham fans. Purely by doing what he did. I think if he come out at the start and said, listen, I'm not signing, I want to move. But coming out and saying he was going to sign the contract and then not, and then moving on to Arsenal, that was the ultimate betrayal. I really do, I'm just reading what you're saying there, what the article said, that Pat Jennings was surplus to requirements. Holy God.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Well, it says here, Jennings was highly regarded as a legendary figure for both clubs, having served so nobly for two sides between 1960s and 1980s. But after 13 years with Spurs, Jennings was left heartbroken when the club told him he was surplus to requirements. And that was probably one of the worst decisions Keith Birkinshaw made.
Sorry, Keith Birkinshaw. Yeah, it was. But see, again, and I don't know whether Pat covers this in the article, you just don't know what was going on. We've just been relegated. We've just been relegated. And obviously that could have had another thinking in Pat Jennings. He didn't want to play in the second division.
Yeah.
That could have been part of it as well. So, we just don't know. Like, I know Barry Daines came in and it was a fairly, able deputy for the couple of seasons that he was there. But it must have been horrible for Pat to go to Arsenal. He didn't even get to play Spurs that first season, because we were a division below him. And that was hard enough for the Spurs fans to take as well. But, sorry, I thought there was a car coming to the door there. I suppose the fact that he was at Arsenal up to 1986, is that correct? Was that his last season with Arsenal? I think it was. Because he
came back to us. He came back to us for 86, 87. He never made an appearance.
I know that he played in the World Cup in 86. And then came back to us. And then the fact that he's still at the club, he was goalkeeping coach there for a while. He still gives advice to the goalkeepers. I mean, the guy is 78, 79 years of age now, and he's still highly thought of at the club. And I mean, the fact that he's from Northern Ireland here, I mean, it's a pity he wasn't born 20 miles further south. Then he would have been our goalkeeper. He would have, and look at the goalkeeper would have had there.
Yeah, it goes here. Well, it was the worst day of my life being told I was surplus to requirements after 13 years. You can imagine, Jennings said in an exclusive interview with the Daily Sport. But I knew at Arsenal I was playing with 2 or 3 old boys in the international team, Pat Rice and Sammy Nelson. I knew all the other Irish lads. It was a home from home, basically. It meant, from my point of view, that I didn't have to move the family or the kids out of school into schools up and down the country where the job takes you. That was important to me at the time. Jennings made 208 appearances for Tottenham, winning 2 League Cups, the UEFA Cup, and the FA Cup during his glittering period. And then he went on to play 327 matches for the Gunners, picking up an FA Cup winners' medal along the way. However, unlike many other players who made the brave decision to swap Tottenham for Arsenal, he is not only still revered by Spurs fans, but is also a goalkeeper coach for the club. It goes on, and while Jennings went out of his way to say he enjoyed his many years at Arsenal, his heart will always be lily white. He says, I've been 43 years at Tottenham now within the coaching staff and as a player. Jennings added, 43 years, there's no doubt where my loyalties lie. But having said that, I never had a bad word to say about Arsenal. I mean, Philip, look, we've got a few people in the chat here. I'll just read out these. So Campbell feigned injury against Man United in the FA Cup and signed for Woolwich. When was there an issue between Pat and Keith? I don't think there was. I just think there was
probably an error of judgment maybe on Keith Burkishaw's behalf.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know what was coming. The pressure from above might have been coming down. That 13 years is a long time at a club, you know. I mean, we're giving out to the likes of Eric Dyer and Ben Davies, been 9 years, 9 years at the club. So that's even longer than that, you know.
Yeah, it is. And Philip, what's your thoughts? What was your thoughts when you first came back to Tottenham with Arsenal?
What was the thought? Sorry, what thoughts when you came back to Tottenham?
Yeah, no, when you came back with Arsenal, playing for Arsenal.
Well, you know, I think what it was, Pat, I hope you have the worst game you ever had in your life. But he rarely did, you know. I mean, Pat Jennings never really had a really, really bad game. He was so consistent. And, you know, it was just, you'd be hoping he wouldn't make a mistake. But from a memory, I don't think we did very well against Arsenal. We beat them the odd time. But I remember back, it was in 1980 when Liam Brady scored that goal that they still talk about when they beat us 5-0 at White Hart Lane. Pat would have been playing in that game. And I'd say that hurt him because he wouldn't like to see his beloved Spurs get a hammer, and even though it was for his new team, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Can Mia jump on for 2 minutes? I need to jump off and do something. Can Mia jump on? Just take over for about 5 minutes, if you can, Mia, for me. That would be very grateful. We've got the next thing here, Philip. It's about Harry Winks and his statement. So I just got to jump off for 2 minutes. Me, if you can just take over, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, Harry Winks is very upset that nobody from Tottenham has been in contact with him since he went to Sampdoria. Yeah, he's saying Winks took Instagram to clear up any confusion over his recent comments. He wrote, I just wanted to clarify that my comments about no contact from Spurs were in regards to plans for next season. Read between the lines there, please, Harry. There are still plenty of games left this season for both, and Spurs, and this has to be the full focus for both. Having been at Spurs since the age of 5, I have nothing but respect for everyone at the club. Fair enough. What would you take the silence to mean, Mia, that Spurs didn't get back to him about next season?
Well, I don't know if anyone else has been in this situation, so I'll put my washing machine on because I didn't expect to be on. But if you text somebody that you like and they don't text you back, what does that mean? That means they're not interested. They don't want to know. We're blanking you because we're ghosting you. We don't want to know, Harry. Like, sorry, mate, but we don't want to know.
In other words, you're dumped.
Yeah, basically. Stop trying to text me like you're some. Do you know what it reminds me of? Know when you kind of been with someone and you just started dating, but they're acting really desperate and needy and clinging. You're like, why? Ugh. He's making me cringe. He's so cringy. I haven't heard from Spurs. Oh my God, just please shush. Just shush.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got 7 other players in the same situation. I wonder if they heard from Spurs yet. So it's an interesting comment that he has to make. But like we're only in March now, so there might be plenty of time. But I get the feeling, I don't know when his contract is up, whether it's the end of this season or next season. But I think we'll be cashing in on him this summer anyway. But then again, I doubt Sampdoria will keep him. Although maybe he's made a big enough impression that Sampdoria might keep him. But with no way are we going to get anywhere near the valuation that Daniel Levy put on him. Remember that ridiculous valuation he put on him last year? 20 million or something like that.
Maybe now he's sort of learned his lesson, and hopefully Levy will be like, please, we'll pay you to have him. You can have him. We don't want no money. You can have 5 million. If you want 5 million, we'll give you 5 million. Just bloody take him, will you? And tell him to stop texting. We're going to change. Tell him to stop texting us because we're going to change our number. That's what we need to say to him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think, like we all know, he's never playing for Spurs again, unless something really drastic happens in the next couple of weeks. I don't think that's going to, or next couple of months. I can't see that happening. There's just a few comments about it here now. I'll just go down through them here.
Hi, sorry, I'm back now.
Go back. Well, maybe you read the comments there about Harry Winks. I'm not able to bring them down here.
Yeah, Winks has done enough in Italy for some club to pick him up. Yeah, that's so very true. Did you know that Bobby Smith in FA Cup final morning had a quarter zone? Yeah, we'll come back to that, David Clark. It's not really what we're talking about at the moment. Harry Winks with this overinflated ego, stay in Italy. Yeah. And know me, you text until you bore them into submission. Look, for me, Harry Winks, let me get his picture up. I want to talk to him directly. Harry, you're a crybaby. Just go. We don't want you anymore. We don't love you. We don't want you. We don't need you. We don't even want to think of you. You're in Italy. Stay in Italy. You're in Italy for a reason. The reason is you're a shit footballer. You cannot play in the Premier League. So please just go and leave us alone. Really, please just go. Do us all a favour. Right, Philip. The next bits to use we're going to get up is the possible squad lineup for tomorrow, for Saturday against Southampton. And this is the team where we think that could be lining up. It's Foster, Romero, Dyer, Longley, Pero, Davis, Højbjerg, Skip, Richarlison, Kane, Sunday. I think that is the same lineup for the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Do you think it's the right thing to start the same lineup again?
Well, I mean, we've had the luxury of a week without a match. Right, we've gone from Saturday afternoon to Saturday afternoon without no match. Southampton had a game last night and they were beaten. So I would think there's no reason why that team can't go out there and do the business. I mean, and this time I would love to see Richarlison get off the mark in the Premiership because he did so much last Saturday without a goal, wrongly chalked off. That goal was never offside. I don't know why that was done, but it was just another weekend of disaster for VAR. Eric Dyer, to the disgust of a lot of Spurs fans, I feel, is now back in the England squad for the upcoming internationals. Fair dues to him. They've obviously seen something, and he's good enough for England. Doesn't say a lot, but he's still in the England squad. And I think Pedro Porro definitely deserves a start after his first assist. And I read an article there during the week about him. He said it was very difficult for him coming over here from Portugal. He doesn't speak much English. And the player that's helped him to settle most is Eric Dyer, because Eric would speak Portuguese, or Spanish or whatever he speaks. So, so it's good to see that the behind the scenes he's helping out a new player coming in. I fully expect us to beat Southampton on Saturday because they are bottom of the league. Let's face it, they are rock bottom of the league now. And the only thing we'll have to watch out for is don't give any free kicks away within 25 yards of goal because James Ward-Prowse is lethal from that distance. Well, I can see us going on a little bit of a run now, and hopefully this is the start of it.
He is. Right, we'll just bring up there. There's the team. Look, I think that's the team. I think it's a good team to skip the same team as we had last Saturday, Philip. I think it shows Guess Richarlison another start, who I think deserves another start. For me, I would drop Son and bring in Danjuma, start him. I know a lot of people will disagree with that, but that's my opinion. And I keep the same as the same. This is the players that are out. We have Hugo's out with an injury. He's due to return for the Everton game on the 1st of April. Emerson is out as well, but he might be back for the Southampton game on Saturday. But long-term injuries, Segi is out with an injured hamstring. Possible return date is unknown. And Bentacle also out with a knee injury. We don't know when he'll be back. And also Basuma as well. He's got an ankle injury, and we won't know when he'll be back. And that's the end of that. Philip, and let's get through some of the comments. David Clark says, I'll never slag off a Spurs player who came through the academy, even if he didn't hit the heights we wanted. He gave his best, even if it wasn't good enough, but he's no worse than some of these. Look, I'm sorry, David, I will slag him off, and I have a right to slag him off. I have the right, the same as you, the same as Philip Brady, same as Ellie, same as Mia. I have a right to slag him off. If he doesn't do his job completely for Tottenham Hotspur, then he's not good. Now, he may be good enough, as Brian Maguire says, so I think it's a great point. He may be good for the Italian league or the Spanish league because it's a slower league. The football's slower. But for a Premier League, he is not good. He kept going sideways all the time. I was watching the 91 Cup final. It was like watching the reincarnation of Vinny Samways because he kept getting sideways all the time too. I don't agree with you. I'm sorry. I do not agree with you. But David, look, normally you are, I know the fan like Philip is, and I do respect what you say, but on this one, I don't agree with you. I do apologize. He said, I will rotate one of the. So would I. We'll bring up the team again, Philip. I would actually put Sarr instead of Skip, or would you
do that? Yeah, you could do that. But I think Højbjerg has to stay in though. I wouldn't trust the two young lads in the Premier League game. Not yet, anyway.
Then what else? We've got David Clark's message here, Philip. Did you know that Bobby Smith in FA Cup final morning 61 had a cortisone injection from a private doctor, then another by the club doctor without telling him about his first one, and was in agony? Them players went through hell back then, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, you see, a lot of the players then they'd hide their injuries. They would play through the pain barrier. And whether it was to do with the way they were being paid, they could have been paid for appearance money, they could have been paid per goal, they could have been this, that, and the other. And let's face it, when Spurs won the double in 1961, those players were on buttons compared to, like, I think the maximum wage had just been abolished thanks to Jimmy Hill, who was playing for Fulham at the time. The players went on strike anymore to get that abolished. 20 quid a week was the most they could be paid as a basic wage. You know, can you imagine today's prima donna surviving on 20 quid a week?
I know.
Good God. You know, so Bobby Smith, I'm sure Bobby Smith is probably on about 40 or 50 quid a week at that stage. It was probably a fortune in those days. But he hit it. He wasn't going to miss an FA Cup medal because of an injury. He would have kept going. And I suppose the physiotherapy and the medical availability at the time wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. There was no machines you could be rigged up to see how you were doing. If the manager asked me, are you fit to play? I'm fit, boss. You're in the team. That was about it. All the health medication was a bucket and a magic sponge.
I like that.
You see, old Cecil pointing the trainer running on with a bucket or a basin of water and a sponge, and that was it. The magic sponge cured everything from broken legs to I don't know what.
And special spray. We got Richarlison deserves another start because Kulu needs to be 100% fit before we see his best. Yeah, I agree with you, David, on that. I really do. Philip, I think we're going to end it off there. It's only a half an hour show anyway today. We are back at 8 o'clock with a humdinger. Do you want to tell people what we're doing tonight from 8?
Oh, let's keep it a secret. No, it's going to be a bit of a wide-ranging debate on. It's going to be obviously on the Conte situation. What else are we talking about? We'll be talking about. Just remind me. I've got a brain fog at the minute.
Yeah, we're doing the transfer trials from Tottenham under Paratici. the likes of the players coming back from loan, what we're going to do with them. What do we need to do for the summer transfer window? Who do we need to replace? Who do we need to bring in? And we're also going to talk about the Conte situation. If Conte does go, which manager comes in and which manager will suit our DNA? We've had 3 defensive managers. Is it time to go back to an attack and like Poch? And also, we're going to start. Also, during the show, we're going to look back at back to the players we had in the back under Venables and the 80s. And did Tottenham always buy attacking type footballers? Have we gone to the other way? So that's tonight now. We're on at 8 o'clock. This was always going to be a short show. There's no Newsbeat tomorrow. That's why we brought up the Southampton team news, because tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we're on with the St. Patrick's Day show where we're going to have it. I'm going to do an intro for it tonight with the Irish anthem. We've got to start off the show properly. Me and Philip, and I think Mia's coming on. I don't think Ellie's coming on because she's not well, bless her. Get well soon, Ellie. We're going to do our all-time Spurs Irish 11. Now, this is the North or the South, Northern Ireland or Southern Ireland. We're going to give our all-time Spurs Irish 11. Philip's going to bring up some news from during the years in Ireland. We're going to go talk a little bit about the funny side of Irish politics, a bit about Charlie Hottie. We're going to talk about was the moon landing real? We're going to Mia come up with a good point about the pyramids in Egypt. Were they built by the aliens, or did Daniel Levy build them all them years ago? And we're also going to ask the biggest question: is Daniel Levy a mummy from the Egyptian era? That is the burning question. I thought of that one just now. Actually, doesn't a bit look like an Egyptian
I
mummy?
think there's one clue we can give. We all know who the goalkeeper in the All Irish 11 is.
Ian Walker.
He's not even fit to open a bag of crisps.
I thought that'd make you laugh, Philip. But anyway, listen, we are back at 8 o'clock. We've got a few more comments here. We've got Rob Belcher. Big up, Rob. He says, Dermatronics and the Godfather, the voice of reason. That's the new nickname Dave started calling me now, Dermatronics. So I've gone for Dermatron to Dermatronics now. I quite like that one, actually, I must admit. Big up, Rob. He said, hey, Rob, I'd like to add my name to that. LOL. Yeah. Wayne, we're definitely not a defensive team. No, we're not. And me and Philip are actually tonight. That is one of the things we're going to go down. Why have we gone so far away from our DNA? That's another conversation we're going to have tonight as well. We got Titso Sam Fatted. I keep ruining your name. I do apologize. Conte's had it again, undermining Spurs with his snobberish comments. I hate it. Look, I haven't had a chance to see his comments. I will try to bring that into the show tonight, actually, and get his press conference up. And I would love to know your thoughts on that. Brian Maguire, managers are not the problem. They are players who have been there too long. Exactly. That is the thing. As always, if she's not being shown, she's always in the background. Big up Mia. Mia does a fantastic job on looking after our chat. She is the channel Rottweiler. She knows that. She doesn't mind me calling her that, but she's a bit like a Chihuahua. But she is our Rottweiler. And Rob Belcher, no worries. Haven't seen you about so much. Hope you are well. Yeah. Well, we're back at 8 o'clock tonight. Me and the Godfather. We are going to do Tottenham transfer trials and see can we make sense of it all. And also,
we were found guilty.
Yeah. Also, if Paratici does go, who do we want as our next director of football? We are going to look into that as well. So please join us that from 8 tonight. We're back, of course, no Newsbeat tomorrow. We're back on Monday with Newsbeat. Tomorrow, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day. So me and Philip will be on about 9. We'll have a bit of an Irish theme. We'll play some Irish music. Philip's going to do some of the parade where he lives. And we're gearing up ready for the big rugby match on Saturday. Ireland against England for the Six Nations. Well, Ireland can win the Triple Crown, the Grand Slam, and the Six Nations Championships. You will get it here live on THFC Round the Grounds. Also, this weekend as well, it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. You'll be able to watch this live on here as well. We're over on Grand Prix Gold this weekend. So that's where you will get all your Formula One The race will be over there. The qualifying will be on this channel, but the race will be on Grand Prix Gold on Sunday at 4. We start at 4:30. And so, Philip, anything else to say before we head off? Before we
No.
and
We'll see you all tonight. We'll carry this on, and let's hope we can make some sense of what's happening on the Tottenham transfer scene over the last couple of years.
Well, that's what we intend to do. Thank you so much for everyone. I'm now going off to see can I get myself a new back, and I will see you later. Take care. God bless you all. Come on, you Spurs. Oh, we can't even say in country we trust anymore, can we? In the Godfather we trust. There you go. There's my new outro.